the end. All right, and one more thing, this webinar will be recorded, and that recording will be made available to the attendees as well as put online. Okay, so let us begin. All right, so we'll start off with the 3DExperience platform overview. And I'm going to now pull up my 3DExperience on my end and show you a bit of the overview to begin with. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to type in my passport. So what this allows me to do is when you first access the 3DExperience platform, what you're going to need to do first is enter your 3D passport. So your 3D passport is basically your entry point, your credentials to log into 3DExperience. So I've just typed in my password, and this is now my 3D passport. So let me click on login, and the first thing you will then be greeted with is the 3DExperience platform. The first thing you are seeing in front of you now is the 3DExperience dashboard, or the 3D dashboard rather, and this is my first dashboard that has been created for me. So the next thing you're noticing here is that there are a couple of tabs. So what these tabs allow you to do is create various content on your dashboard for ready access. So you've got Learn the 3DExperience, which is a few videos showcasing the 3DExperience. And then the third tab that I've just created is the 3D Swim tab. So what this is basically an online community of all different 3DExperience users, and they are all have access to the 3DExperience platform, and you're able to communicate with them up to date with whatever new functionality may be out and keep a few discussions ongoing. This is all on the cloud, of course. So here you have a basic feed of different information anyone may post on the 3D Swim community, and that gives you access to that. At the very top on the right hand side, we've got it shows you the user that is logged in, and a few other toggles such as your live notifications, as well as adding any content to the dashboard, sharing any content, and access to different communities. Now on the left hand panel we have a few options. First things first, we have the 3D compass. So the 3D compass is your navigation throughout the 3DExperience platform. So I'm going to just launch the 3D compass, and what you'll be greeted with is the panel on the left. That shows us a few things. To start out with, it's categorized based on yourself or your company or globally. So that gives you a view on the different roles that 3DExperience offers. Taking me then to the roles. So what you'll see here is all my roles. So my roles are basically licenses that have been assigned to me, and those are assigned in the form of roles. And these roles then have associated apps that come with those roles. So then once you've activated that role and your administrator has given you access, you get access to a various number of different apps. So as you can see here at the bottom, these are the apps that I now have access to. So there's a whole lot of them, and these are all assigned, they're all given to me via these roles, of course. All right, so that is a bit of the overview of what 3DExperience looks like. And now what we're going to do is show you how SOLIDWORKS and V5 will be connected to 3DExperience. So we've shown you a bit of 3DExperience. Now we're going to jump back to the 3DExperience platform, and I'm going to show you how SOLIDWORKS and CATIA V5 will be launched from 3DExperience. So let us head straight to that. And yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do now is we've got our 3DExperience opened up. The first thing I'm going to do is launch SOLIDWORKS. So what I've done is I've clicked on the Collaborative Designer for SOLIDWORKS role, and I'm going to now launch SOLIDWORKS. So I simply click on the SOLIDWORKS icon embedded into 3DExperience. You get a little notification at the bottom launching the 3DExperience connector, and a little pop-up that tells you that the 3DExperience launcher is opening. So what it's now done is it has pulled up my SOLIDWORKS application natively. So there's a couple of things to note here. This is the exact SOLIDWORKS interface we are all familiar with, and this is built directly into your native SOLIDWORKS application. So at the top you've got your usual commands, but more importantly, what I'd like to draw your attention to is the 3DExperience panel on the right hand side. So what this has now done is, so it's got 3DExperience now embedded directly into it. So here's your compass and your different apps built into 3DExperience. And the search bar then gives you various options to search different components all on your 3DExperience platform. So in this case, I'm just showing you the whole lot of products that we do currently have built into our 3DExperience platform in our case. And what's important to note here is that it will show you all your 3DExperience products, so not just your SolidWorks, but also your 3DExperience native CAD files. Any objects built into 3DExperience will be shown here. And more, of course, if you want to search for something specifically, you are able to do that. The next thing I'd like to point out, though, is you're able to actually filter these search results. So by using the 6W tags, which is the filtering option built into 3DExperience, you can filter it based on the different types of formats of files. So if you want to see just your 3DExperience or just your SolidWorks files in this case, you can simply do that by filtering those results. So now I'm going to hand it over to Elsie Ngaki, and she's going to walk us through a little bit of the V5 aspect of 3DExperience. Over to you, Elsie.
Thanks, Jeanette. Similarly, you can launch CATIA V5 from the platform. So from here, I'll just I'll go to the campus again and then scroll to the icon. So click on CATIA V5 and it will launch the connector, and it will automatically open CATIA onto your desktop. Okay, so by launching it directly from the platform, it will connect your V5 native app with the platform. So I can just go to the 3DExperience and maybe open a file or save the file to the platform. So that is one way of opening V5. So in an instance where you already have CATIA V5 open on your desktop, then you just need to click on the button on the bottom there to connect it. So when you click on it, it will want you to put in your 3D passport credentials. So I'll just punch in my password, and when I click on login, it brings me to this platform where I can choose a collaborative space or choose that organization, which would be the company name, and choose a role. Could be an author, a leader, or just a member. And once I've selected these credentials, just click on OK, and it has connected. And you will see the top as well. It shows you that it's connected. So now I just want to open a file directly from the platform. So it will bring up this dialog box where I can search for a model. Okay, so say for instance I want to look for a compressor. Okay, just type in compressor. It will bring up the different models that have that name compressor. Then I'll go to the particular model I want to open, click on it and click on OK, and it will automatically launch it onto my screen. Okay. So that is the different ways of opening CATIA V5. Now, the next bit that we're going to look at is how to integrate SolidWorks and CATIA V5 data to the 3DExperience PLM Services unit using the UPS, which is the Unified Product Structure. Okay, so now going back to my native app, going back to my web, I have 3DExperience launched. Okay, so I just click on the dashboard. I can swap the different dashboards that are available. So in this case, I'll just go to the Integrated Product Development webinar, which is one that we have generated particularly for this webinar. And the moment I click on it, it brings me to the 3D space. And within the 3D space, I have the different collaborative spaces. So these act as folders that contain all the data for that particular project. So you can generate a collaborative space with respect to the project that you're working on. Okay. As you can see, we have different collaborative spaces. So I'll just go to the Integrated Product Development one. And within this, it will show all the products that have been saved in it, all the documents. So this is your CAD products, it could be your Word, your PDFs, all the documents that are linked to this particular project will be saved there. Okay, so now I will move on to the UPS tab, the Unified Product Structure tab. Here it will show me on my left you'll see there is the product structure editor, which has the different products. I can just simply pull and drag and drop a particular product that I want to focus on in this stage of the project. So in this case I have my compressor that I've already dragged and dropped there, and I can just open the plus sign just to show me the different products that are within it. And on the right, I have the 3D campus, which shows me the 3D view of this particular product that I have open. And here you can see the different data that is linked to this particular project. And as you can see there, the CAD master shows you which models, or rather which software these models were generated in. So now my main assembly was generated in 3DExperience platform, but it consists of different components that are generated in CATIA V5 and also SOLIDWORKS combined. Okay, so now I will hand over to Junaid, who will show us the next aspect, which is about change management using the 3DExperience PLM Services.
Thank you very much, Elsie. All right, so Elsie just pointed out to us the unified product structure aspect of it. And so now we've got our data on 3DExperience, which is great. So we've got CAD data from SOLIDWORKS and V5 that are all on our 3DExperience platform, which is excellent. But now what we actually want to do is use the 3DExperience platform's PLM services to actually show how these can add value. So what I'm going to now do is, myself and Elsie, we are going to go through the entire change management process as a means to just demonstrate a bit of the power that 3DExperience offers us. So in order to do that, we're going to carry out the change management process using 3DExperience PLM services with SOLIDWORKS. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is both myself and Elsie are going to be accessing our individual 3DExperience platforms. So just mind you, it is the same 3DExperience platform, but we are different members of our own platform. So on the right-hand panel, I'm going to pull up my 3DExperience window, my web window. On the left-hand panel is going to be Elsie's window. So let us just pull that up quick, and we will then share the screen. So we'll pull up mine and pull up Elsie's. All right, here you go. So we've got both our different 3DExperience windows opened, and let us move on. Okay, so you'll see at the top here, the right-hand panel is Junaid Sirat, myself, and what I've actually done is I've created a change action. This particular change action is named liner vents. So this particular compressor has a liner that's slotted into the piston chamber. So what I'd like Elsie to do is to add in vents to that particular liner. So I've created this change action. It's called liner vents, and I've added various details such as the title, the description. I am the owner since I've created this change action, and it's a bit more metadata regarding this particular change action. Moving on to members, so we've got two members in this particular case that are involved in this change action, shall I say. So it's myself, who is the owner and approver, who has created this change action, and then we've got Elsie, who is going to be carrying out the change action. So these are the two members that we're looking at, and you'll see on the right-hand panel, sorry, my bad, the left-hand panel, this is Elsie's login, and she'll pick it up shortly. So there's her login on the left-hand panel. So let me just go to the proposed changes part of it, and give it a second. Here we go. So these are the proposed changes. So what I've actually done is I've moved, or I've attached rather, the CAD model for the liner. So I've just dragged it and dropped it in when I was creating this change action. And this CAD model is the one that Elsie is going to be making the changes on. So it gives us a bit of detail regarding it, and the activities are still, of course, pending because the change action has not yet been initiated. All right, so now that we've got the change action, again at the top we've got a bit more detail regarding the change action, the owner and the collaborative space, in this case the integrated product development webinar collaborative space. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this change action from the draft which is when I've created it. And I'm going to move this change action now to set it to in work. So what that's going to do is it's going to send a notification to Elsie. As you can see here on the left-hand panel, Elsie just received a notification that she's got a change action that she needs to carry out. So on my side, it says the maturity has been changed successfully, and now Elsie will be able to carry out the change action. So I'm just going to pull up Elsie's window and hand it over to Elsie to continue. Elsie?
Okay, so now I have received this notification from Junaid about a change action, so I'll move on to the change actions tab, which will show me the different change actions that have been assigned to me. So do note that when I get a notification, or rather when a change action has been assigned to me, I'll get a notification both on the platform and also via my email, okay? So when you get it on your email, you just click on the link, then it will lead you to the platform, to the tab that has to that particular change action, right? So okay, I open up my change action, and now the change action is particularly for a liner which is within the compressor assembly. So as you can see on my notifications, it also shows me the different notifications that I've received, one of them being of this change action. Then I will then move along to, okay, so now I just need to drag and drop this change action onto this little hat. So once I've dropped it onto it, then it activates the change action. Okay, so as you'll see there, the hat changes to yellow to show that the change action has been activated. And now this is particularly for the liner. Just click on the liner and zoom and scroll there just to look at how it to observe how it looks, particularly at this point. And then from there, since my liner is active, I can simply just go to SOLIDWORKS and launch the SOLIDWORKS app directly from the platform. And so the SOLIDWORKS app is within the Collaborative Designer for SOLIDWORKS role. Click to activate the app and it will launch my SOLIDWORKS. Okay, so as we wait a bit for it. Okay, so now that SOLIDWORKS is launching, it takes me to the home, or rather the welcome page. So I can just close that there and then move to my 3DExperience. Okay, so within there, I can view from the change actions. Just go to change action, and there I'll see that there's a change action that has been assigned to this particular liner. And as you can see, the liner is already launching, or rather loading. Okay, so click to activate that particular change action. And as you can see, the hat has changed to yellow as well, even on this side. Okay, now for this particular change action, I'm required to generate or add a vent, okay, to this liner. So already there is a sketch existing, so I'll just extrude that particular vent. Okay, change the direction to through or on both sides, and once I'm happy with it, click on OK. And then I need to, let me just create a circular pattern for this particular vent. The direction would be the center of this liner, for instance. Punch in the value angle, maybe perhaps 45. Yeah, it looks just about right. Then I put in 3 of them. And as you can see, this is of the extrude card. Then when I'm happy with it, click on OK. And I have created these vents. Once I have added the vents, now at this point, the update to this model is still within SOLIDWORKS. So now I need to save it back into the platform. So click on the liner and then click on this save button. Now it brings up the save to SOLIDWORKS, save to 3DExperience. When I click on OK, then it sends this to the platform directly. Okay. And as you can see now, the status has changed to saved. Okay, so now we'll move along back. I'll move back to my 3DExperience platform. And okay, let me just close that. And then go to the change action. Currently, it's still in the in-work state. So let me just, okay, observing the model, I can see that the events have been added there. It has been updated onto my server, but now the change action is still in work. So I just need to change the life cycle of my change action. Oops, let me close that. Change the maturity of the liner to the frozen state. Okay, let me just freeze it. And then once it has maturity has been successfully changed, I can now change my, okay, let me refresh first. Change the maturity of my change action to, as soon as it, okay, from in work, now I set it to in approve, right? So once I have done that, then Junaid should receive a notification that he needs to approve this change action.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Elsie. So Elsie has just set this to in approval. And let me just pull up my window. And as you can see here, so here is the notification. I've received the notification from Elsie. Let me just pull up my window quick. And yeah, so I've got to now approve this change action. So let me have a look at the changes that Elsie has done. I just refresh this change action, and it tells me the maturity status is in the approval state. So I can now promote it once I have checked. So let me first have a look at it to make sure I'm happy with it. So I open the compressor, it opens up the CAD model within the product structure, the unified product structure part of 3DExperience. As you can see at the top here, it's Junaid Sidat logged in. And just give it a second. Here we go. So the model has now loaded. So let me just look at the liner. And yeah, okay, so it looks like Elsie's created these vents. They look really good. I think I'm happy with those. So what I actually just want to do is, second, I want to just view the liner individually as opposed to being in the context of the assembly. So I'm just going to view it again, make sure I'm okay. This looks good. I think we are happy with this. So all right, so the compressor, the liner looks good, and I'm going to set the change action to the approved. So I'll put in a slide comment, approved, there we go. All right, that's good, I'm happy with that. I send the approve action, and that creates a notification again for me to tell me that this change action is now being completed, and the maturity status will also change to the completed state. And yeah, so Elsie will also get a notification regarding the change action, and we're good to go. And now what we could do is, on Elsie's side, she can just probably switch off the change action because we are done with it. So she's just going to double check. I'll just pull up her window here, and you can see that on her side it also reflects that the change action is complete, and we can now switch off the change action as this process is now complete. So refreshing it on her side again, and the model has now loaded and the change action is complete. All right, awesome. So it looks good so far, and now what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the next stage of the webinar. So the next thing I would like to talk about is BOM management and project management using 3DExperience PLM Services, and this is both with SOLIDWORKS and CATIA V5 data. So without any further ado, let me just head straight on. What we've got here now is I've pulled up my 3DExperience window again, and let's just go through it. So again, it's just a bit of a recap. We've got the 3DExperience opened up again. A bit of a recap, we've got here the different CAD data from the different programs. So we've got the unified product structure, we've got the compressor in its current completed state, and the next thing I want to speak about or just remind us on is the fact that this data is, again, the assembly has been created. These are the different PLM attributes that have now been assigned to it, and Also importantly to note at this stage again is that the assembly was created in 3DExperience while we still have native data from CATIA V5 and SOLIDWORKS. Alright, so the first thing I want to touch on briefly is the BOM management functionality. So the BOM management tools provided with 3DExperience gives you the ability to create the completed BOM of this assembly all within 3DExperience while connecting still or remaining within SOLIDWORKS V5 and the CATIA V5 data. Alright, so a couple of attributes we have regarding the BOM. There's a couple of toggles giving us access to different functions, and importantly as well, we've got the BOM menu, so that gives us a whole suite of different functions, so such as perhaps exporting the BOM. So you can export this BOM from 3DExperience as an Excel file should the need be, and as well as create an enterprise number, edit the configuration context of it, change the different PLM attributes such as the maturity, reserving it or unreserving these different components, and lastly, if you perhaps want to subscribe to it, so any user on the 3DExperience platform, if they have access to this particular project, can subscribe to the BOM just to keep an eye on it to make sure it's up to date and all the changes have reflected. Alright, so that was a bit of the BOM aspect of 3DExperience. The next thing I'm going to touch on is, as seen, is the project management tools. So first things first, for project management, for this particular compressor design, I've now created a project for it to track the progress of this particular project. So as you can see to date, a few of the different phases, the early phases of the project has completed. This is the Gantt chart for the project, and those completed tasks have now been collapsed. So in this case, we are currently in the status of clash testing for this particular design. So I'm just going to open up one of these tasks and walk us through a bit of the attributes that each task has. We can change the priority of the task. We can change the maturity status for the different stages. We can set the percentage complete for these tasks, set the estimated duration, different assignees, as well as perhaps different dependencies, as well as the repository we're looking at for this particular task. And that works for all the different tasks that have been created. So this is the particular clash testing task. I jumped to the draft analysis and stress testing task. We have access to the very same attributes. Alright, so that's good. So we've got all these tasks created. We've created the project schedule, and this is all being tracked on 3DExperience. So the next thing I want to briefly move over onto is the collaborative tasks widget, also part of the project planner role on 3DExperience. So as you can see, this is the current task we are busy with. This is the clash testing task, and it's currently in work. Those are the tasks remaining to do, and these are my completed tasks, all pertaining to this particular project. So these tasks are all again tracked directly on 3DExperience. That's the task attributes that we've mentioned previously. And lastly, I just want to show you the project dashboard, which is also quite useful. So that gives us a bird's eye view on what the project is at the moment, different tasks, the different states of each of these tasks, so the different to-do, in-work, and completed tasks, any tasks that may be at risk, and various other resource usage attributes for this particular project. And there we have it. So this is the project dashboard. I know it was a bit brief, but again, this is just a quick overview on what the project management functionalities on 3DExperience is capable of. Lastly, I just want to point out that these particular project management tools are available from the project planner role. And if I open up that role quick, what you're also able to do is look at a bit of information, click on the I button, and that gives us a bit of a description on what this role is. And this is for any role as well on the 3DExperience platform. You can click on the information tab, and it gives you a bit of detail on this particular role. And at the bottom, it shows you which are the apps that are assigned to this role. In this particular case, the project planner role has the project planning app and the collaborative tasks app built in as part of this project planner role. Alright, so this has been it from us with regards to the 3DExperience platform. So thank you very much for your time, and now what I'm going to do is pull up the questions and answers aspect of the webinar. So at this point we are done with the presentation, and we can now entertain any questions or queries you guys may have regarding whatever has been shown. Lastly, of course, the info@IntersTechSA website is email address is right at the top. So any request you may have, or if you want to request more information, please drop us a mail and we will respond to you shortly thereafter. All right, so let me just hop back to the presentation, or to the meeting rather. And let me unmute just a second. All right. Okay, so we're happy to entertain any questions and answers you guys may have. Please do ask away if there's anything you'd like us to probably clarify with regards to what we've shown.
Yeah, something for me.
Hi, Luke. Yeah.
For the 3DExperience platform, is it per seat or per user?
It will be per user per seat is one and the same in this case. So depending on how many users you guys would like to take on, those set number of users will be assigned the basic access licenses. How many users you may have, you'll need a license for each of those users, which is a basic access license to the 3DExperience platform, and then they'll be given their 3D passports and their cloud link, and once they've logged in, they're up and running.
One thing you also need to notice, some of these roles, they can be shared, but once one person has pulled the role, then it will stay with them for up to 30 days. So it will only be accessible to other users after the 30-day period has elapsed.
And that's 30 days is fixed. It's not something that you can change.
No, well, but which is why we advise, so if you've got perhaps 5 engineers that want to be connected to 3DExperience and take advantage of the functionality, what we will then provide you with is 5 basic licenses. So each of those engineers have their licenses to access it at any given time from any device, of course. Once they've got the link, they just log in with their 3D passport.
Cool, understood, thanks. One more thing is, if, say, we have a server-based license for both SOLIDWORKS and CATIA, with the integrated 3DExperience platform, and assuming that we have a license available, would we be able to pull CAD into the native application on a desktop, say, whether it be it SOLIDWORKS or CATIA?
Yeah, absolutely. So the whole idea is for us to kind of merge these. So you've got your DSLS licensing set up, you've got your CAD and SolidWorks all running. All you'll need to do is get the associated 3DExperience roles. So in this particular case, the collaborative designer for SolidWorks and V5 roles. And once that's created for you, you literally just need to launch the app from 3DExperience. The first time you click it, it launches, it installs the connector for you. And of course, our technical team will set all of this up for you so that your V5 is connected to your 3DExperience platform, and going forward you just click your V5 button from 3DExperience, or alternatively, as Elsie showed us during the webinar, you can also connect to your 3DExperience platform directly from V5. And of course, likewise with SolidWorks, it's embedded directly into V5. The program already is there, it's just that once you've installed the connector, it will show up in the program once it's set up for you, of course.
Understood, thanks very much. It was a really good presentation, guys, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm glad it helps. Yeah. Not sure if there are perhaps any other questions. I'm not sure. So we'll give it about a minute more. If anyone else would like to ask anything or request any further information, you're also welcome to type it into the chat box. We'll pick it up on our end here, or you can of course unmute your mic and ask away. All right, and one more thing, Elsie's just going to drop both myself and her email addresses into the text box, sorry, the chat box rather. So you're more than welcome to drop us a mail individually as well if there's anything specific you'd like to find out or ask on. Elsa, I mean, if that's been it, thank you very much for your time, and thanks for joining in. Of course, again, this webinar is being recorded. We will make this webinar available online once this meeting has ended. All right, thank you very much.